With good tidings in bad times, we welcome you once again to the next episode of the ThyGap podcast. This is Bogus Noog, and with me is
Being Brut.
welcome back, everyone, to the new episode. The best we can hope is that you're having an uneventful day. That's the best you could really hope for, Brute.
Yeah, Bogus. The first things off the bat. Tough times around.
Yeah.
And it's a good starting. What was the starting you said? Good tidings.
Oh,
come
yeah.
and go.
Good tidings and bad times, you know.
Yeah, good. I don't know what it means, but I'm assuming it is a Latin phrase that you picked up way back in your school.
Yes.
Which was told to you by one of your senior. At that point, you didn't understand. Then it took 25 years for you to understand what it is. But
It is a Latin saying. It means subscribe and share.
ThyGap,
Yes, of course.
obviously.
Yeah. So, quite a few updates from our podcast, Brute, off late. The ThyGap podcast is very soon going to be available on GeoSavan podcast, GeoSavan as well. For all those who are waiting for with bated breath, you know.
Yeah, GeoSavan is the most biggest upcoming podcast platform in India, especially.
Yeah.
So all of those Geo users, you should be having it for free, I'm assuming. So the moment you download GeoSavan, just go out and subscribe onto the ThyGap podcast.
Yeah,
It's really important. It's the first step for you to get better network.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how the main office, the only office mentioned on the website is in New York, but for India, yes, GeoSavan is the premier
Podcast platform.
podcast platform, you know, up and coming, you know.
And we are one of the first guys to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Just so that we can make your life easy. Look at the pains we're taking for you. Appreciate it. Acknowledge it. Embrace it. Please.
Well said, bro. Well said.
There's a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
It's coming out from my gut.
I know, I felt it, actually.
Yeah.
But what were we saying? Yeah, GeoSavan.
I think so. Let's move past GeoSavan.
Let's move past GeoSavan.
Yeah, let's
for
go.
now.
Let's go straight to the agenda.
The agenda, yeah. But
Bogus.
before that, I just also wanted to say, I wanted to give a big shout out and thanks to the 10 people who gave us a 5-star rating on Apple, the podcast.
Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, none of your names showed up, so
we don't know who you guys are.
yeah, just accept it with grace. And those who did not do it, don't claim it. That's cheap.
Just don't raise your hand for an answer you don't know.
Yeah, don't take the credit when it's not due to you.
We are backbenchers. We know these tricks.
Yeah. So, but if you do want to get in those good graces, just head on over to Apple and give us that 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. It makes a huge difference to somebody. Okay.
Bogus.
Brute, our socials are available on our socials. So I guess we'll just skip past that because I just realized we've been doing a bunch of this, I don't know what you call it, technical administrative shit.
I don't know, Bogus. Like, I let you lose. There are problems we face.
Yeah.
So I generally come in to just like pull you back and bring you back to the topic, the agenda that we are here. So for the first time, I think we are about to embark. Okay, I'm using heavy words so you understand. A kind of a serious topic. I mean,
are you
the first
kidding?
time.
Like, have you seen some of our? The last episode we did was about loneliness and solitude. Dude.
No. I'm saying like current affairs. Current affairs. Okay, current affairs is something we never touched upon,
and we're not touching upon now as well.
Yeah,
true to fashion. But yeah, it's more about this situation that we are in right now. Of course, there are many people in weird places, like I mentioned, who listen to this podcast.
Right.
The situation may be very different over there. Maybe it's all sunshine.
We
and
hope
roses
it is for the better.
Yeah, we hope it is that way, and we also curse you for it. But these things are part and parcel. In reality, these things happen.
Yeah.
Because our situation is not so great right now, and we seem to be getting creative with new variants. No one asked for that, but it just, in a country with beautiful randomness, random things happen. What more can you say?
In a country which, what do you call for like having it?
Has it?
No. No. A country which, has a place like Patancheru,
Yes.
the epitome, the entropy of random and chaoticness.
Yeah.
I mean, any other thing that comes, any alien thing that comes here will adopt to that, right? It will kind of grow into being creatively random.
It's quite possible that someone was unfortunately infected and they ended up being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like they ended up going to Patancheru and there a small cluster formed.
Yeah.
And Patancheru, as we know,
Yeah.
Brut, has those mystical properties.
Yes.
And there is some extra spatial phenomena that happen at Patancheru that may have caused these variants to pop out of a portal. We don't know.
Almost like there's extra couple of dimensions working in Patancheru. It's not like it's not like a 3-dimensional place.
Yeah.
Right? When you go into Patancheru, there's so many other dimensions that you start experiencing.
Yeah.
But you can't really tell what it is. You can't put it on a paper, like write it that, hey, this is...
Like
right?
at a given place, at a given time in Patancheru, if you find yourself looking at a door, for example, that door could lead you to the house inside, or it could lead you to the next room, or
the parallel road.
Or that door could lead you to a place you never knew was possible even,
Yeah.
You never know. Doors, curtains, in places like Patancheru, you have to be very careful. And you have to watch out for arches. Like when you go under the arch, you have to watch out for what time of day it is.
Yeah.
A lot of things that these silly immigrants don't know when they come here.
The concept, the saying of knock before you enter is taken very seriously in Patancheru.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's a life and death situation if you don't follow it.
But that is not what we actually wanted to talk about.
No, Bogus, not at all. Obviously, a typical ThyGap characteristic. We digressed just for a bit.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this question. 2020. Not a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's in the greatest hits
COVID
collection, yeah. So bad, it's
So
good
bad.
category.
It's like the worst hits cassette ever existed.
Yeah.
2020 was the whole series, right? So, but it seems like 2021 is like a twin brother or sister of 2020. Only more naughtier.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Let me become
now.
like very news anchory.
Yeah.
Right? Because media is not doing a great job anyhow in covering this.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this, Mr. Bogus?
Yeah, it's getting a little playful now, right? That's what you mean, like by naughtier.
Yeah.
Like earlier it was like, oh, I'm just an innocent bird in a whole new world. Who will be my friend and who will take me, hold my hand and show me the world and all that crap. And now that honeymoon phase has ended, now it's like, oh, but I also have different moods. Didn't you know that I have mood swings? It's that time of the whatever year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It's just like a very annoying classmate, right? Who initially, they were very nice in asking you the homework or like the previous class notes and all. And now they're basically ruining your life by taking you to movies and making you bunk classes and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in a nutshell, we've explained it really well. I don't think anybody has put it this way, that this particular thing has been getting more and more naughtier, more and more playful, in ways we can't even anticipate, by the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is the worst thing. Like, there's no pattern to the behavior.
And there is no consent also. That's the troubling part. Like, we have not consented to play.
Yeah.
We are like, no, we don't want to play
this
new game.
Yeah. We didn't like it the first time.
Yeah.
We won't like it the second
It's
time.
like, we're tired, we want to go home. Or is the opposite, we want to go out.
Yeah, we are tired, we want to go out.
We want to go out. Like, we want to go on vacation or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's a game that we're being forced to play now.
I know.
We're like pawns on the chessboard, bro.
But what is the price that we are paying for that to play the game? Why are we talking about Corona as if it's Lord Voldemort? We can take its name, right?
I don't know. Can we?
We can.
Because it has many names. Just like, archetypical whatever characters or it comes with many names. Oh.
What do you want to call him, man?
Yeah.
I'm COVID-19.
But the whole reason, I guess, this episode, now that we're getting into it,
I think we got into it, just that we didn't realize it.
yeah, the whole reason for this episode is just the unfortunate realization that it's not just 2020 that's gone down the drain for us now. Mm-hmm. We're looking forward to another year being, pushed down the conveyor belt. At the end, there's like a furnace, and all your dreams and your hopes and aspirations, they're just going to burn to a crisp.
On the brighter side, we still aren't seeing the furnace at least.
No, I mean, furnace itself is the brighter side because it's burning.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like there's the glow.
Okay, that's how it ends,
like,
basically.
Hey, you look good in this lighting. I
It's
mean,
almost-
your future is getting destroyed. Yes, but you look good in this lighting.
It's almost like death is the best solution for you, so embrace death.
Yep.
Like, go for it.
Hug it
I
out.
don't think that is the point. I think that's too harsh.
Just hug it out with that bitch.
No, bitch. No, we're not doing it. Go bitch, okay.
Yeah.
No, that was some cookie stuck in my throat. No, I think that's too harsh, Bogus. Like, to think about death being the solution for this.
No, I mean, that's not what we're saying. Of course, we are
Yeah.
exaggerating for
But
what, I don't know.
for whatever reasons.
For whatever reason.
Out of habit, maybe. It's no proper like end game that we're looking at for exaggerating.
It's like we got nowhere else to be. Like,
Yeah,
we can't
so it's
roam
like,
around outside.
let's just exaggerate it.
Let's just
let
sit
it
in
be
a
there.
room and exaggerate. Let's just cook in this Hyderabad heat and exaggerate.
You know what I miss about, in the whole process?
Mm-hmm.
The things that I miss are those summer videos of Hyderabad where people are making omelets on road
Oh, yeah.
or on a stone or whatever.
Random surfaces. Yeah.
I miss those videos. That's the only thing I'm missing. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much the same. Like,
Yeah.
apart from that, obviously, my dreams being crushed and losing 2 years of my professional career.
Yeah, and nowadays the videos being circulated in the summer are not that great.
Yeah.
Now the videos we get to see are all kinds of bad news.
Yeah. It's not even like funny anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it was never funny, but yeah.
You could make fun out of it. It's like an after effect, but this doesn't even have an after effect.
Yeah.
Which is why we are in this predicament to figure out how do we take this conversation forward in a funny way.
That's the whole problem, right? Because just the realization that it's another year. And what's worse is there's no guarantee that it's just one more year. Like there's no saying how many more variants, how many more lapses in security or common sense, wherever in whichever part of the world. We know, of course, where it all started.
Yeah.
But, where is it going to go and like how long is this going to be? Like this is too much because I remember in my case, right, for the first 4 to 5 months, I was okay with it. And it made sense that, yes, we need to arrest it before it spreads. We got to know that just a few people crossed our border with the bug. So it makes sense. But then it went to 6 months. And then, end of the year, your 2020 is basically done. There's no... Because you remember they were saying that, once the summer comes and passes... in the sun, it'll just fry, on the road. It'll just...
Which is why I miss those old videos of people making omelets on like stones.
Yeah.
Just like it kind of like symbolizes, coronavirus is also going to die like this.
Yeah,
like
they were
get burned on
almost
stone.
saying that once the temperature crosses above 40, bro, you see it's just going to die out in the heat. The virus needs cold to survive and all that stuff.
So be very careful in the winters.
Now
it's fine. You can kind of like take it easy.
Yeah, and now it's just getting worse. So
it's getting worse, dude. Like it's the worst case scenario I've ever seen from a healthcare perspective. When I mean healthcare, I'm saying about like in a mass disease kind of a perspective.
We've seen worse than this.
No, I haven't seen it.
We've
personally.
seen much worse.
Which name one
in our history? I mean,
no. Personally, come on. In a history, a lot of things have
personally,
happened.
Yeah, of course.
Personally, I've never seen the fear. Right? Yeah. I mean, last year it was about anxiety, right? It's like, what if I do if I'll get it?
Yeah.
Right? So I would get pangs of anxiety, and there were other things in my personal life which were happening. So, obviously the anxiety was a little higher for me, considering the risk that that there was. But But I think overall, it was not a scary sight. You're not running out of things. Your known people were not kind of affected.
No, if you just looked at the global rate of recovery and you actually looked at how much percentage was actually impacted, it was not really alarming.
On the hindsight, right?
No, even back then, we knew that this is not really at such an alarming rate. Now it's just with these extra variants and this kind of stuff. A few numbers are going up. That's just the concerning part. But I think what's been the worst thing overall, unspoken, is that from day one I've been observing the kind of information that was being shared was always sketchy. It was always dodgy. It was never confident. It was never authoritative. Initially they started off by saying masks are not even required. It's not airborne and all that stuff. From there you can just see where we've come. So it's like there's never been any confident source of any complete confidence in knowing that this is the right way to go about it or this is the wrong way to go about it. It's always like one guy's version is this and this guy's version is that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at a situation where the way it's working also is like some kind of lottery from hell or something. Where you don't
Eeny,
know.
meeny, miny, mo, you are picked.
Yeah, like some people are more predictable. Like 2 days after attending a wedding or something, they start showing symptoms. Then there are other people who are absolutely fit and fine. And they stay alive till the moment they're not. They just drop. And there's been that cases where 7 days later or 8 days later or something, all of a sudden they just no symptoms until then, and then all of a sudden they just succumb and something happens. And it's just this dumbfuck lottery system also is like, we're just fucking with us, I think, because there's no clear way to predict. Earlier we thought, it's just the seniors that are more prone or to the risk of this thing and all. Now it's like, it's not that.
32, 33, 36, 37.
27.
It's not even an age to die because of such a health reason. I mean, there can be some severe case or etc. But I mean, exactly why, right? The fear, it was anxiety last year. Now it is like literally scary. It's not like anxiety anymore. There's a 24/7 fear which is constantly, over your shoulder where you're like, oh fuck, it can be at any time now or any moment.
And it's concerning not just for like the health and safety kind of reason, but even from a governance point of view, like potentially where this is going, it's very concerning because the more you have these lockdowns, right? The more it is in a controlled curfew kind of situation. And it's actually easier to control that. And we've always had lesser people to police us as a population. In proportion, if you see. We've had a much lesser population to police law and order compared to how many people we are actually. Like,
is it? I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's bad here. Like one cop versus how many civilians, if you see that ratio. Ours is like...
Oh yeah, that way, yeah. I think we are understaffed.
Horribly, severely understaffed for the population we have. So in that situation also, if you see that it becomes easier for them to control as long as we're sitting in our homes. You never know, like it could be incentive enough for some people to, like how they did right earlier in the first version, where they just kept telling us not to come out. And they started repairing the roads and stuff. And just because that work started, even beyond the time we needed to stay in, we were still kept in for a while actually. Because those works were not done. That I find like, that is like, that's literally, that is unacceptable. Like, that kind of abuse of control, right? It's just unacceptable. And it becomes easy for anyone in that position to do it. I'm not saying the person who right now is like, the wrong kind of person, and if you replace that with someone else, it'll be much better. No, it's just typically, it is, once it's easy for you to control, chances are high that someone would do it.
But how do you think this has impacted on an overall basis? Like, okay, it's not ending this year also. I think it's pretty clear. 2021 is gone. Till the end of this
year, it's gone.
Right?
It's gone.
God forbid it also gets into 2022. It shouldn't be like a test match there. It plays for 5 years. Right? I hope that this ends 21. But 2022, we can't say it's too far. We don't know what happens by the end of this year. like assuming what might happen next year is like, I think it's far-fetched. Personally, I think one of the things it has definitely done is, and I'm speaking from a very subjective standpoint, Bogus, so I don't want your gyan to come in, is I think it changed on a more permanent basis how I function in a society.
Okay.
In a sense, my spend patterns changed.
Right.
My dependency on things have changed.
Right.
So the whole concept of luxury and necessity and all that, they kind of have come into perspective, right? So that, in general, it has changed my day-to-day functioning. The other thing that is also changed, which is more closer to my heart, right, from a standpoint of what I like doing, is because you're constantly exposed to so much of content, right? May it be sport or TV series or movies or whatever.
Yeah.
You start seeing the flaws,
Okay.
And that's what happened to me. I started seeing the flaws.
In what?
In the TV series that I was watching, or may it be like a sports match, like a cricket match or anything that I was watching, because I had all this time and I had to keep myself engaged. So the best, without getting out of the house, how else can you engage? There's only so many things you can do, right? So one of the things that I was seeing was a lot of the content that is there, at least was made available during the lockdown, was repeat stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's the same terrorist group trying to like attack a country, and it's not just India specific. I think in general, there's a nuclear attack which is about to happen, and the hero saves the day. So it's no more that damsel in distress today. It is basically the country in distress and hero saves the day, or the world is in distress or the hero saves the day.
Or it is the country or the world is in distress, the damsel saves the day.
The damsel saves the day.
The guy is in distress.
Yeah, the guy. Which movie are you talking about? By the way?
This is not one movie. This is like the in thing now.
I think you're talking about Ikta Kapoor TV serials.
No, this is like...
That's how it works. That's how her TV serials work.
This trend is across the board. Movies, TV shows, web series. A lot of damsels now saving the day. Which, is like, take it for what it is. Like, yeah.
But you know what I'm getting to, right? Like, see, IPL got banned.
Yeah.
So there's another bummer for us. Like that 3 hours or 4 hours of entertainment, which you look forward for on a day, is no more there. So now you have to fill like 4 hours of time in your day schedule. How do you do that? You're running out of ideas to keep yourself engaged, Bogus. That's my problem.
Yeah, I mean, when it started out for me, like I said, 4 to 6 months was fine. But after that, I could literally feel time slowing down. And I was like, oh man, what do I do now? Like, there's still some more day left, and I don't want to do anything. But at the same time, I want to do something to get rid of that boredom.
Yeah.
And I can't find anything to do good enough. And there was a phase where I was trying to like spend the day in sleep. Like whatever time that I didn't know what to do with that time, right? Like didn't know how to manage it. I just like slept through it. And so it was like I was waking up at odd times, sleeping at odd times, and my clock was just going...
Entropy.
Yeah, it was anthropocized.
Anthropocized
across
chaos.
the 24-hour the wheel, basically. So it was pretty bad. And then now, one more year added to that. Like, what the hell do you do?
But did you learn out of the last year? What did you learn in terms of dealing with this?
I mean, it's not that dissimilar from a lot of other people, like because of the lockdown, like we keep hearing, right? That a lot of people got into financing, like personal financing, like got into stocks and crypto and all that stuff because they had so much free time on their hands. You also have a lot of podcasts popping up.
Right. The niche no more is the niche now.
Yeah, it's no more. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, it doesn't matter, but we did start our podcast before the lockdown.
No, we were ahead of the curve.
We were ahead.
Let's be honest. Let's put it out there.
Yeah.
We were ahead of the curve. We saw it coming.
Yeah.
And we were way too smart. We beat time.
Or we were the omen, actually.
Yeah. We were
for the coming lockdown.
We were we were like the milestone,
Yeah,
which says like dangerous, curvy road ahead.
that's it.
And that's what we were. We were ahead of the curve.
So, what was I saying?
You were saying about how people are coming up with podcasts, the niche is no more niche.
Yeah, so it's going more into that, which is, okay, now that we have a lot of time in our hands,
Let's just do it.
maybe there's something else that we could learn, or some other skill to pick up, or some other hobby or something, whatever.
Yeah. Now I don't even have the inclination to go out. It has come to that point now where I'm almost like institutionalized to function within four walls. The guy who I was, it's almost like, not that I will not go out forever, but it's almost like I keep procrastinating it. It's like, I'll go tomorrow, or I'll go in the evening. Why should I even step out now? It's too dangerous outside.
That's the main thing, right? Because there's so many variables outside. Once you step out of your house, you never know
what you're coming back with.
I mean, you don't even know if you're really being cautious, like properly. Like, even if you put on 2 masks, your eyes, if they're exposed, even if you put on 1 mask, you never know how you're catching it actually. Like, if you rub your hand like to your eyes or your nose or something.
Exactly. The scariest part about the whole deal is there is no pattern to it.
That's what.
We don't know how, like, all the people, especially this year, all the people who've contracted, the virus, whenever I had a conversation, I was like, can you kind of make out, like, do you have a wild guess?
Yeah.
Like, the simple thing is this: when you get a cold, you kind of know, oh, you know what, I had too much of ice cream in the rain. You know, it was bound to happen. I got a cold. Or I got drenched in water, and I was in water for so long, so it's obvious I was supposed to get cold. But when we speak to these people and say, like, where did you go? And they're like, I didn't go anywhere. I was at home.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, a friend of mine.
For like 10 days, I'm at home.
Yeah.
And the last time I went out was about 10 days back. I didn't even go to the grocery store. And you're like, are you serious? Like, yeah. I didn't step out of the house.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, a friend of mine from work who actually caught the bug and now he's recovering. He was not able to pinpoint where exactly he might have gotten it, because he said, I barely went to any public gatherings, and I always took care whenever I went out for essentials or whatever. But I have no idea where I could have gotten it, and that's what.
It's almost like the tooth fairy thing, right? You put a tooth under the pillow, and the fairy will come put $1 in the night. It's almost like that. Every story that I've heard, whoever contracted it, they were all like, I got up one day and, I had it. It's almost like that. There's no gradual getting into it kind of a thing.
And that's why we hesitate to step out.
Yeah.
And it's good to not step out as well. Like, that's what everyone keeps saying.
Yeah.
Don't step out. Yeah, stepping out, I still don't feel the urge to step out as much, but I want to travel far. Like, I want to go really far.
Yeah, so you basically want to jump
from here to there.
Here to there.
Yeah.
That's not happening, Bogus.
I know.
Too heavy.
I know.
Too heavy for jumping.
I mean, it's not happening for a lot of reasons. That's the sad part.
Primary reason is because you're too heavy for jumping. Bitch.
Yeah, I'm not going to jump anyways, but the
sudden, disappointment that showed in your face. You're like, Thailand was a plan. Greece was a plan. Like,
I knew this episode was just going to be this. Like, it's going to be this whiny.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And what can we do?
We're just like, we can't. Like, come on. Like, we badly want it to be funny, but
we don't know where the limit is. Right?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
We just don't know. We can't see the line.
Like, are we giving up 2022 as well? And in which angle is this not painful? Because if it's a teenager, they're losing out some of the prime years of their life. Not socializing, not meeting
kids,
not mingling.
Yeah.
Kids can't go out and play.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you procrastinate and you think, okay, these are the remaining years of my youth left, I need to do something in this now. Otherwise, it's like all gone. It's all for nothing.
That bucket list that you wanted to finish before 40 and all, ashes, you're losing 3 years
to ashes. Like dust.
And you know
Dust.
I'll tell you the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Elderly citizens
Yeah.
worked hard all their lives just so that they can enjoy their retirement.
Yeah.
And what are they doing?
They're enjoying the retirement. At
No,
home. No?
no, they want to enjoy retirement like you.
I know.
Go travel places,
I know, I
fucking
know.
like go to pilgrimages, go meet my
I know,
relatives.
dude. My folks actually booked for Leh.
Yeah, see,
And they had to.
exactly,
Yeah,
right?
they really wanted to go.
And at that age,
Especially now with the Atal Tunnel and all, it's something else.
with that age, at
Yeah.
that age, you can only assume. I've seen my grandparents go through that.
Yeah.
Every year is a drastic change in their health and capacity,
Yeah.
right? And they're losing 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's about like 5 years worth of life they could have lived, right?
We are counting like weeks or months at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody has suffered. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if people are understanding the magnanimity of this whole pandemic.
And that's exactly what, I thought we should touch upon in this, which is what I find is being discussed or spoken about is stuff like the impact to the economy. Yes, of course, there is an impact to the economy. I'm not saying
It's obvious.
I'm not saying these are irrelevant or invalid. I'm saying people are discussing valid stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing which is not being discussed is the psychological impact.
For the first time, before we go any further, I'm sorry, I just want to spit it out.
Sure.
For the first time, Bogus, I think that was the most diplomatic statement that you've ever given.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying it's not invalid. It's a valid point.
They're all valid and beautiful and they smell good.
Yeah.
But what is being left out is the psychological impact, not just as an individual or on an individual basis,
Yeah.
but as a society as well.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of impact. So as an individual, it is fucking with us in one way. And on a societal community level, it is fucking with us in a whole other way.
Yeah.
Which we still don't know because we are right in the middle of it. We are knee deep in this shit right now. We're only going to probably have a better idea once a year or two passes. But right now, we have no clue what this is doing to us. And that's kind of a concern.
Yeah. I totally agree. The urge to make fun of the whole situation, but I'm not able to. I think probably it's the first time I'm.
And
in that
even if we
situation.
do, it is like a helpless coping mechanism kind of.
Exactly. It is. And as straightforward as it can get. That's all I intend to do. Like make fun of this. Like how can we be in the situation? But every single time I speak to one of my friend or a relative who's been caught by the bug, touch wood, they're all safe. They're doing fine now. You just can't but stop from thinking that, oh my God, this is going to catch all of us.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually,
it's probably
right?
going to catch all of us.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then,
no matter how much precautions you take, the reality is eventually he's going to catch on to us.
And then we all know cases where when someone we know caught it and we thought, okay, this might not be a good idea. I mean, might not be good news because of this guy and his medical history and all of that stuff. And they do just fine, they recover.
Yeah.
But then someone who's completely healthy, where you would think, oh, they'll just recover it, they'll get over it like a cold or something like that, and they just succumb to it.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, the most annoying or the trump card of this bug or the virus is surprise element. Like, it just doesn't seem to be telling anyone how he's going to react with each and every case. There's no pattern per se. There are statistical numbers that keep coming out. But when I look around my own circle, at least this year, right, there's so many people who actually succumb to it, and ages which were very shocking. These are guys who are fit. These are people who were health conscious, etc., and they just succumb to it like that.
And it's
overnight.
also the irritating thing is that it's not like,
Tell me.
Okay, you get infected and there is one way that it kills you.
Yeah.
If it is that, okay, it's simple
Yeah.
and straightforward. But
I
it's
don't
not
think
like
they
that.
know.
It gets in your system, and if you already have some problem with something else, it'll kelku that and it'll make that worse.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a la carte, right? It's like I'll go there and decide. It's not like I know what I want to eat type.
So you have a middle-aged guy in Kukatpalli die of pneumonia, which is something that if you took a walk outside Siberia in the night and you slipped somewhere and you fell, you would actually die of pneumonia or something like that in the 40-degree heat in summer.
Why are you pronouncing it so bad?
No, I'm just saying pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
It is pneumonia, dude.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I said.
Pneumonia. Yeah. Pneumonia. I don't know. You pronounce it different. That's all. I apologize.
The fuck? I said pneumonia.
Yeah, pneumonia. Yeah, I get it. Somebody fell in Syria. Where did they fall? Where did they fall?
Fuck it, he died now. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I apologize.
No.
But no, I think it's best to just take all precautionary measures and hope for the best. Which is the worst, lamest advice anybody can give. But
it's like there's no point in giving that as
it's almost like literally that's all you can do.
Yeah, it's like saying meaning of life is to be a good citizen. Okay.
That's all it matters. Like
anything else?
Yeah, like can I be left-handed
Yeah.
while doing it?
Is there a clause A, clause B here? Like what star
Or it's just
mark?
like one blanket.
Any market
rule.
conditions? No.
But if you have to bet, Bogus, how long do you think this will go?
Oh God, I don't even want to make that mistake because I was fully convinced that during the last summer, because of the heat, it will die out.
You were one of those guys who
I was one of those guys. Like I was like, yeah, it makes sense. The heat, I mean, it's so uncomfortable for us. Like how can a virus survive in heat?
Yeah.
Virus, I mean, things when basically it's cold, you have that stuff, right? Like fungus growing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Heat usually tends to
kill everything.
Like
that's why you don't have coronavirus on the sun.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Straight relation.
So that's the problem. That didn't work out. And after that didn't work out, I was like, okay. All bets are off.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And here we are. We are like almost 1.5 years. No, not 1.5 years. 1 year.
It is 1 year.
1 year.
1 year into it.
1 year.
It was the longest 1 year ever.
And we don't know how much more there is.
Yeah. The scariest thing.
What else is there to say about this? There's nothing. That's about it.
I'm only able to think of sad stories, which I don't want to tell.
Yeah. All right. So wrapping this up, Brut, this episode on the pandemic, the lockdown 2.0. There is no ending. So there can be no proper ending to this. We're still going through this.
Yes.
Let us come together. Not together. Let's stay apart a little bit. But then symbolically
come together.
And
be united.
Be united and stare into this abyss.
What else can we reiterate?
Without recourse, or you get the point. Anyways, for now, the most important thing is for you, just...
I just feel so bad because let me put it out there. Shut up. I feel so bad that our audience can't see what you do while recording.
Oh.
And I feel so lucky in another way also that I get to see all this.
Right.
There are trees which sway less than you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you are swaying. Well, I mean, it's almost like a mix of Devanand and Manoj Kumar just doing like going around and like not able to get support from his own body and his back is giving up kind of a thing.
I'm swaying in despair, Brute.
It's like James Dean.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back. You're saying, Bogus.
Yeah, I was saying we were ending the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying.
The podcast episode. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. And we want to wish that all of you are safe and don't go through any of the predicament that people have been going through who got the virus. And the safety message goes not just to you, but all your family and your friends. And please be responsible. I think it's time that let's not try to act too smart, but just act.
That's right. What I was going to say. The most important thing for those people who are listening to this, where the situation is actually pretty chill and you can go out and you can meet people and stuff, just don't get too cocky.
Yeah, don't rub it on our face.
Do not get too cocky because
we'll get there.
Indians know how to travel. You get my point? You know what I'm saying?
And not just travel. We also know how randomly we can stop somewhere.
Yeah.
And just settle.
Yeah.
That's a bigger power that we have.
Yeah. So
mix among the crowd.
Yeah. Just stay humble and be quiet. Have fun, but be quiet about it.
Yeah.
while we get through this. That's all we can ask for at this point of time. So before we sign off, as we always say, ThyGap, subscribe.
And share.
And share.
Hey, what about our social spot?
There'll be a short clip that plays after this.
Okay. Okay, we got that covered. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. You can follow this podcast on Spotify to get notified of new episodes every Thursday. We're also on Apple Podcasts for those of you who have partaken in the forbidden fruit. If you liked what you heard, leave us a 5-star rating and a comment. Say anything like the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. A rating and a comment really helps us out. It's free, and I'm told that's a great price. But enough about us, huh? Tell us about yourself. Leave us a comment. Our Twitter is @ThyGap, and we are _ThyGap on Instagram.